And gentlemen, it's your favorite voice of nightmares speaking, and today I got a bit of an update video for you guys. First and foremost, I would like to say yes, I am back permanently this time, and I would also like to apologize to all of you who've been waiting for almost 2 years for me to get back on a regular schedule. This video is here to tell you what happened during some of the, about a couple of years ago, why it's been so difficult for me to release videos continuously, and also what are my plans going forward. Now, let's take you back. I believe it was in the year 2018, 2018, when I first started doing this thing on YouTube. What had ended up happening was I was trying to get a whole bunch of guys together and things of that nature to start off a couple of groups and maybe even a creepypasta community of our own, the Black Legion of Screaming Banshees, which we did a couple of videos together, but that technically didn't really work out. I do have some connections to most of those guys. However, like that whole group thing that we had going together, that was one of the first things I wanted to put together, and it just did not plan out the way I wanted it to. And also, too, at the same time, as you guys could remember as well, I was doing almost video after video, almost 3 or 4 times a week. Now, this ended up becoming a problem later on, because what happened was I was doing that, plus I was going back to school at the same time, and with the amount of schoolwork that I had to do, plus I was also trying to lose weight around this time period, and I did. I got down to, I lost about 150 pounds, I believe, which was a lot, because I was 350 pounds of fat at one point, and I had to trim all the way down to like 216 or something. Can't remember, but as etc. as those two things were happening at the same time period, the amount of homework that I ended up getting and the amount of time that it would take me to do my homework, which was almost several hours out of the day, it just got to a point where I just wasn't able to make any more videos whatsoever. As a matter of fact, I was also making so many videos at one point. It just got to a point where I was just burnt right out. And to top that off too, I was also going through, I'm pretty sure most of you guys don't really know this, but I do suffer from a couple of mental disabilities. And what was happening at one point too is that I was trying to focus on getting better treatment. Now, that I finally had found a place where I was going to get the treatment that I need and the help and the development that I should have gotten earlier on in my life, but I wasn't able to due to some certain scenarios that were happening. But this was around at the end of 2019, and as if you guys know what happened in 2019 that eventually hit the entire planet in 2020, the COVID-19 virus. When COVID kicked in, it destroyed everything. Like, all the plans were just completely ruined. And what ended up happening was I had to cancel and stop those programs that I actually needed in order for me to get by. I was doing determinate behavioral therapy around this time period too. Also around this time period, actually starting from 2019 up to this time period, a lot of my cell phones and my technology that I was using, like, I don't know if you guys, have I ever told you guys this, 100% of all my work that I've ever done was directly on a cell phone, because I don't have enough money to pay for a computer at all. Like, I don't even have a job, to be honest with you. So at this point, I don't have a job. So, what ended up happening was, and that's because of my mental health issues, and I'm not going to get into that portion in this video, but let's continue on. So, what ended up happening was I ended up getting a whole bunch of stuff recorded through some of you other narrators. You guys know who you are. And the problem was the projects just never came into fruition. That was the reason why, because all the technology I was using was constantly breaking down, and I had to constantly go back and get it fixed. And I was always constantly buying brand new cell phones because these things are built like trash. They don't last very long. Don't worry, I still have 95% of the recordings that you guys gave me. I can still produce something and hopefully continue on with this point. Okay. At the end of 2019, going into 2020, during this whole COVID period, I had decided that I wanted to take a break away from the creepypasta thing and focus more on video game related content. Now, see, what ended up happening was I had purchased Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PlayStation 4, and I noticed that there was this editor called the Rockstar Editor, and what I was going to do is I was recording my gameplay footage, and at the same time period, I was uploading it. And what Rockstar Editor allows you to do is it allows you to record your Grand Theft Auto 5 footage almost like a film. It lets you edit it so it looks more like a movie. So, well, my plan was to release Grand Theft Auto 5 at first, and then like shoot it and edit it so it could look like a television program. Also at the same time too, I was also planning on releasing a Slender Man video series. Yes, I have the Slender Man games for the PlayStation 4. I believe I have one of the Slender Man games. I actually might do that in the future. Return to the Slender Man thing. But as I started releasing some of the Grand Theft Auto stuff, I started noticing you guys just weren't really into it, and I was just burnt out from creepypastas at this point. So I had done so many of them, and I was also working on so many other creepypasta projects that I ended up losing due to the fact that my phones kept breaking down. So, like I said, I just had to take some time off from it. So during 2020, we'll move a little bit into the future. In the end of 2020, I ended up getting sick with the COVID-19 virus. At first, I didn't even know I had it, but they told me I was asymptomatic to the first strand of it. The second strand, when it came in 2021, is the second strand that I received in 2021, I actually had to go to I had to do this twice, but this time I noticed that I knew I had it because I was coughing up everywhere, etc., etc. So I had to retreat to an isolation center where I had to spend for you guys don't know this about me, but I don't live in a normal home. I live in a very special type of facility that takes care of people that have some of my issues in life and helps us deal with them. I can't tell you anything else about where I live, but that's just about it. And I've been here for over 15 years, so it's a pretty good place to live. It's a pretty nice place to live. It's very safe and etc., etc. However, like when COVID-19 hit, COVID was really fucking me up, like really badly. Like the amount of isolation that we had to do because of the fact that we were the type of facility that we are, we could not the guys were not really allowed to interact with each other. So it got so bad to the point where I was only allowed outside for like an hour out of an entire week, and the only reason I was allowed to go out was to go grab my groceries and then come back to the place. And then as I was spending more and more time alone, you know, the effects of isolation, they really screw with you mentally. Any doctor will tell you that being isolated for too long is no good. However, because of where I live, I had no choice but to basically spend the times and days barricaded in my room. Trust me, it wasn't something I truly enjoyed. As a matter of fact, some of the problems that I ended up with, I still have now. Like, for example, I can't remember barely anything that happened yesterday. Like, my memory has been cut short due to this pandemic nonsense. A lot of other crap has happened to me. So, like, as I was going through a lot of the other problems at the same time, I couldn't even sit down to barely even. I couldn't even sit there. It got really, really bad. Like, I could barely, like, sit down to, like, do pretty much almost anything. Like, I felt like essentially I was going crazy. Let's put it that way. I was losing my mind. And that just wasn't helping me out at all. So, like, and also, too, that this is the time period I started DBT over the phone. That didn't help me out whatsoever, which is determinate behavioral therapy, by the way, for those of you who are wondering, did not help me out whatsoever. And so my mental health was getting a bit worse. And also, too, like, I just couldn't focus on, like, just had a hard time focusing, period. So, and also in 2021, I'm sad to state, the other problem that I was dealing with is that my father had passed away. The man that, not my biological father, but the man that raised me pretty much my whole life, he got really sick and he ended up dying at the age of 61. So there was a whole bunch of other stuff going on. Plus, there was a lot of other family things that were happening that just I can't really get into, just for my own privacy's sake. Those were a couple of problems. And also, too, like, there was just a whole bunch of, like, other stressful shit happening in my own head because of the fact that, like, I was stuck inside this damn house all the time. I was just losing my fucking mind, as I said before. But anyways, throughout the last couple of months, I've realized that I really need to get back into doing creepypasta videos. And so, as you guys, probably, if you guys have tuned in, yes, I did do a creepypasta video just about a couple of days ago. Maybe last night even. I don't know. Whenever this comes up, I have no idea. But I decided about it last week that, okay, starting from this week forward, this week that we're in right now, every single Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I am going to release a horror video. We're going to reach that goal again. I'm going back to 3 days a week. Now, I know, why can't you just do it every single day? Well, that would just be way too much. I want to get everything nicely prepared and etc., etc. So 3 days a week is best for me. And when it comes to future video game stuff, that's all going on my gaming channel. That I'll just set aside for the fun. Except there's a few things out there I'm probably going to put on my creepypasta channel. One of them I think you guys are going to be kind of amazed by. Let's just say I've got something in the works. I can't go above and beyond that. But anyways. So, and the reason why the hiatus is now coming to an end is because I've realized how much I've neglected you guys. And I've neglected my channel. And honestly, like, now that I'm feeling a lot better than I was prior, than I was before, I have actually am now able to sit back and focus, and I'm ready to get back into the game. So in other words, I'm coming back, and this time I'm going to stay to shine. So we're going back to three videos per week now. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you are going to see a video done by me, the voice of nightmares. I'm coming back. I'm staying right here. I ain't going nowhere. I'm back for good this time. Okay, thank you. Sorry for the mumbling. This wasn't scripted. I did this all at the top of my head. because I figured it'd just be better off for you guys to hear this at the heart. But anyways, I, the voice of nightmares, am back in the creepypasta game, and I can't wait to see you guys in the future. Good day.